Hello, I'm Lloyd, and welcome to episode 5 of Pubs in the Shire, or Pots, as nobody calls it. Tim Hickford knows his beer. He served it, brewed it, and sommeliered it, hosting 1,500 brewing tours to date. He worked at Mad Squirrel Brewery and is currently beer engagement manager at Bedford's Brewpoint, owned by Wells & Co., formerly Charles Wells Brewery. This is situated at the dramatically named Cutthroat Lane on the edge of Bedford. The nearest pub here was the Angler's Rest, which is now a cafe. This episode includes French pubs and asks the question, when is a dead pub not a dead pub? Okay, I'm here at Brewpoint with Tim Hickford, beer guy and sommelier. If you can tell us a bit about yourself.
My name's Tim Hickford. I'm a home counties boy. I was sort of raised in Watford and I've spent most of my life living in Hertfordshire, Buckinghamshire, touch of Berkshire as well. I have always really been into beer. I poured my first pint when I was 18. I worked in nightclubs and bars and stuff while I was at university. Cool. I moved into working for breweries when I was 21. So I'm 15 years into that side of the business now. Yeah. I have spent most of my time working with two companies, Mad Squirrel, who I was with for 7 years, and then Wells & Co., who are Brewpoint, who I have been with now for nearly 6 years. Cool. It kind of falls into two camps, really, because whilst beer is my career, it's very much also my hobby and my pastime. Yeah. And so I just love drinking it. I love talking about it, reading about it, writing about it. I just love beer, basically. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So, have you got a go-to, a favourite beer or drink?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go a few.
I'm sure more than one's are fine,
Yeah, absolutely. So let's sort of run through the list.
Yeah.
So the beer that outside of the work beers, outside of Brewpoint beers, which are all great, the beer that I probably actually drink the most of is London Pride.
Okay, popular one, Yeah,
it's a popular beer. Yeah. What I find with London Pride is that it very much, how good it is, depends on the pub. And depends on the throughput now. Yeah. My local pub near where I live, which is a great pub called The Oak, it's a great all-rounder pub. Yeah. They generally only keep 2 cask scales on. Yeah. Pride's the only one they keep on permanently. Okay. But they're generally doing about 3 firkins a week. So sort of working every other day. Okay. So it's always really fresh.
Nice and fresh, yeah.
They rinse the line between every barrel and they clean the line every week. Yeah. And so I drink there most weeks. Yeah. And usually have at least one more pint than I expected to have. Because it's a really nice, fresh kind of classic.
That's a good gauge. Do they have like a guest beer as well?
Yeah. I mean, at the moment, they seem to settle a bit of a proper job for the summer because it's going quite well.
Quite a hefty one.
A little bit, and that also tastes great, but they generally do rotate that second. Sometimes they put a third on in the winter. Yeah. So, I would say that London Pride is probably my most drunk beer. Yeah. My fridge filler at home is Budvar. Nice. I was thinking today, that's probably the Desert Island beer. That's probably, you said one beer for the rest of your life, no deviations, I'd probably pick Budvar. Yeah. It's just the best version of kind of what a classic lager can be. Yeah. And I think it's frankly insane that you can buy beer of that quality for £1.75 a bottle in Lidl.
It's true.
You know? And then, it's probably the best beer I've ever had is I did a brewery tour some years ago of Pilsner at Quell. Which is just outside Pilsen in Czech Republic. Okay. And you do the whole tour, and at the end of it, they take you down into the cellars, which is essentially a dungeon, and they give you half a pint of Pilsner at Quell, unfiltered, unpasteurised, served from a wooden barrel.
Lovely.
And obviously you're fully geared up for it to be great because you've done the tour for 2 hours.
Yeah, you're in that situation where it's going to be great.
You can only buy this beer. Yeah. Or you can't buy it, you can only get this version of this beer on the tour. Yeah. That's the one that I sort of hold up as probably my single best beer experience. So it's 3 answers to one question.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. I think, like you say, that having the beer in situ, like at the brewery, and a continental beer on the continent, it's bound to, or even if at least psychologically, I think it really actually is going to elevate it, isn't it? It's going to be the purest.
Absolutely. I think it's part of the reason why everyone bangs on about how Guinness is great in Dublin is because it's like you're already geared up for it to be great.
Yeah.
You're already expecting
You're kind of primed for it to be that way,
And that's kind of half the battle, you know.
I suppose,
So, but I was completely primed for that to be great, and it was phenomenal. So, those, you've got sort of two fairly regular ones and one kind of a little bit off piece there. So.
That's great. Apart from Brewpoint, I mean, which breweries are you enjoying at the moment? Or sort of historic ones you might have fun with?
I guess I've got to put Brewpoint as my favourite brewery because they pay my mortgage, don't they?
Absolutely,
So,
and they're great,
Yeah, they are. But in terms of other ones for pleasure, I have two to four. You know, and I think there's a bit of a theme that emerges here. You sort of see kind of some of my drinking style. So I always massively enjoy the beers from Ansbach and Hobday.
Okay.
Yeah, London-based brewery.
Okay.
I also always really enjoy the beers from 5 Points Brewery, also London.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
Then also Thornbridge.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I like those. Yes, they're good.
And then finally also the Colonel. And I think the thing that you see with all four of these beers, when you go, what is it about them that I like, is that they are all very good in their own way, doing quite sort of modern interpretations of quite classic styles. Yeah. You know,
sensible.
So I mean, obviously, Ansbach and Hobday, they've got London Black, which is what everyone kind of bangs on about, and it's a great beer. Yeah. The Ordinary Bitter that they do is a really, really great pint.
Oh, cool.
And they do lots of, kind of specials that lean a little bit more on the heritage side, but with a fairly modern twist. They did a great barley wine last year. Yeah. His name escapes me. 5 Points do the same. You know, 5 Points Best is fantastic. Yeah. Hook Island Red and Brickfield Brown, when you can get them. Right. Both amazing. Yeah. Thornbridge have always done that, you know. I mean, obviously they're the modern pioneers of doing the modern spin on the classics. Yeah. And Colonel do the same as well. I mean, obviously Colonel and Thornbridge do a lot of hoppy IPAs and stuff as well. Yeah. But when you dig into their stouts, their porters, that kind of stuff, they really kind of like to dig into some of that more old school stuff. I mean, I think the single best beer I had last year was the dark mild brewed by Thornbridge on the Burton Union system, which obviously is like a real heritage piece of kit. That was a standout beer from last year. So I would probably lean a touch more to Ansbach and Hobday than the other three. Yeah. But all of them are great, and they all sort of do what I like. Yeah. You know?
So the Colonel one, I think I've seen that bottled, and it's got a sort of minimalist label.
Yes.
Is that on? I guess it is on tap in certain places.
Yeah. I mean, I did a brewery tour there probably 10 years ago now, and just what they said at the time there was that they essentially wouldn't ever need, if they didn't want to sell outside the M25. There's enough demand for their beers. Right. And the way that company works is they're not really interested in growth. Yeah. You're right, in bottles, they're always bottles and everything cans. They're generally is the sort of pale brown, very plain label. Yeah. Nice. But yeah, they do a lot of keg, and they in the last few years they've started to do a touch of cask. Okay. Not much, but they do a beer called the Imperial Brown Stout, which was sort of the fourth option. When you were saying about favourite beers, I was sort of, do I include that or not? Yeah. So, which is a really fantastic sort of Victorian style stout. Yeah. You know,
so with regards to like cask and keg, I guess you're pretty open-minded, and there's a place for both, isn't there?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, my heart is really with cask. Yeah. You know, I think most of the kind of really exceptional beer experiences I've had have been with cask. Yeah. I do also completely believe that there are styles that don't work in cask. Obviously, the thing with cask is that you are really at the mercy of the person who's cellaring it and storing it.
Oh, yeah. And, that's the thing, it's the upkeep afterwards, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. So,
and how it's kept in the temperature, it's all crucial, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think with keg, I mean, there's still plenty of ways you can get keg ales and keg beers very, very wrong. Yeah. But there is a little bit more security on the part of the brewer there, definitely.
Because sometimes, for me, as a consumer, there's a bit of catch-22, because I'll go into a pub, it's got a cask, but I've got this sort of hunch that it might have been sitting there a while, So then you go for the keg, but then you're kind of ignoring the cask and think, well, I should take a punt on the cask.
Yeah.
And if it's nice, if it's not, I just have to be honest and polite and say, well, it's not, there's been
Absolutely,
sitting around.
yeah.
And then I'll go for the old neck oil or whatever, and it's because I know it's kind of safe, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is one of those things, but it depends on the pub, obviously.
Yeah.
And
I always try and use the tip that was given to me 10 years ago, and I thought that's a great idea, is when I go into a pub I don't know, I always have a quick survey of the room and look at what everyone else is drinking.
That's a good call, actually,
You know, if you've got 20 people in the room and you can see half a dozen pints of cask scattered around, you think, well, at least it's moving, at least it's not going to be the first one out the tap.
That's a good point.
Whereas if you look around and everyone's drinking gin and tonics, I might have a gin and tonic.
Yeah, shrewd, So, at the pub, it can be either or a favourite bar snack or a pub meal.
I'm a big snack guy. Regular pub, regular setting, dry roasted peanuts.
Lovely.
Always. I play squash on Wednesday nights with my friend John. We've been doing it for years, and we go to the pub afterwards and have a couple of pints. And that's sort of the first one goes down very quick, and then on the second pint, get dry roasted peanuts out. And it's I think they go so well with most beers, really.
Very compatible. Yes. As far
I always find salted peanuts a bit lackluster in comparison.
Yeah, dry roasted. A king.
For meals, I'm a pub classics guy. I love a pie. Steak and ale pie. I don't think can really be beaten.
No.
You know? So I'm always on the hunt for pubs that do a good proper pie, full pastry casing, not just a little platform of pastry.
We need a lid. It needs to be fully encased.
Absolutely,
none of those topless pies.
But what I will say, to go back to the snacks, is I have spent quite a lot of time for work recently in France.
Cool.
Wells & Co, we own 19 pubs in France.
Excellent.
And their whole sort of approach to pub snacks out there is very different and quite refreshing, is that you don't really get peanuts and crisps. No. They do cheese boards and charcuterie boards. I mean, so this was
sensible.
It was I was in Strasbourg. This was not actually. This was a few months ago. And I realised there was a craft beer bar around the corner from my hotel. And I was in there sort of fairly late one night, and I said to the guy, "I'm really hungry. Have you got some peanuts?" And he said, "Oh, no. But we've got this sort of salami thing with cornichons and bread." And it was like, I don't know, about €8, about £6.
It's fine, isn't it?
But for one person, and I sat there, had a couple of beers of it, and it was like, I was like, you know, there's a lot to be said for dry roasted peanuts and pork scratchings and cheese onion crisps. You know, we all love the British tapas, but I was like, this puts a different, a different spin on it.
It's another level, It's like even like the bread, for example. That's going to be great, isn't it?
Yeah, their bread is phenomenal over there. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to visit one of those French pubs. Charles Wells ones. They sound very good. So what sort? Are they in different regions? Or
they're kind of scattered all over France. So we have 7 in Bordeaux. 4 in Toulouse, 2 in Lyon, and then 1 each in Lille, Paris, Reims, La Rochelle, Strasbourg, and Montpellier. So they are all over.
La Rochelle.
Because everyone goes, "Oh, you've got 19 pubs in France, they're all Brittany and Normandy," and actually none in Brittany.
Made an assumption it might be northern France, but no.
No, you're all over.
Cool.
They're all big urban city centres. They're all rugby towns. And
so a lot of French clientele.
All French clientele generally until the World Cup comes on, and then all the Brits pie. And they don't do cask because it doesn't travel, and they have no culture for it. They don't get it. No. So it's all keg products. But they all feel like traditional British pubs. They're all things like the Shakespeare and Sherlock Holmes and Houses of Parliament, Red Lion and stuff like that. And they are wooden panel, bar service, that kind of stuff. It's always quite interesting because obviously there isn't much culture for bar service in France either.
No.
It's all table service. So when we open one of these pubs, people come in, they sit down, they stare at the bar staff stare at them. And you're going to have all these signs saying, "Please come to the bar."
That's the protocol,
it's a British pub. Come to the bar in the British pub, sort of thing.
That's it.
But if you're ever over there,
sounds good.
You know, they're worth the trip. I've just been around all 19 of them in the last 10 weeks. So
what's your?
I know someone's got to do it. Go around and check the beers in good nick. hard work.
Lovely. And obviously, I'm guessing there's obviously a good relationship with the wine merchants there, and I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, we do sell a fair amount of wine. However, I think the thing is that the USP is really the beer.
So it's more focused on the beer.
It is more focused on the beer. I think that's why they work for us, is because you know, you can get, if you're in Bordeaux, for example, you can get great wine anywhere. It's probably one of the best places in the world for wine. But the beer scene, it's pretty tragic overall. You know, like most places, they'll have one or two beers on it, it'll be Heineken or Kronenberg or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
So when you go and open a pub and you've got 12 beers on range of styles, people kind of going for that. So I mean, we sell a lot of wines. Increasing our cocktails as well, and they're getting bigger everywhere these days. But I would say it's more about the beer.
Excellent.
Actually, more so than some of our British pubs, perhaps.
Yeah. Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Right. They do a good pub snack.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's another incentive to go. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. So here's 50p for one go. What song would you put on the jukebox?
So, I mean, my first love before beer was music.
Yeah.
I've been a huge music fan for my entire life.
Cool.
One song is incredibly tough.
You can have three for £1.
3 for £1.
Does that help?
Well, the first one would be Friday I'm in Love by The Cure.
Good choice,
I think it's probably my all-time favourite song. I think it's probably the most perfectly crafted 3 minutes of pop music in existence.
Yeah.
I think
that's good for pub tune as well. I think
it never doesn't put a smile on my face.
No,
and I think probably statistically more people go to the pub on a Friday night than any other time of the week.
Yeah,
bang that on at 8 o'clock on a Friday night, you're probably in for setting a good mood for the evening. So that would be one.
Good one.
Number two, probably something a bit rockier.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Green Day fan.
Excellent.
So probably one of theirs. Probably When I Come Around from their album Dookie. Which is one of those ones that it was a big single for them, but it's not one of their biggest singles.
No.
So you sort of put it on and people go, I know this. Who is it?
Oh, that's a good one.
Think about it. You know, a little bit.
I think I'd go default Dookie tracks, to be honest. Yeah. Basket Case or whatever.
Basket Case.
Those sort of ones. Yeah.
Yeah, and then third one. I don't know. Maybe something quite to change gears. Maybe something quite kind of reggae-ish.
Yeah.
Big reggae fan.
Nice.
The old school reggae.
Yeah.
Stuff. So probably 54-46 was my number by Toots and the Maytals.
Nice.
Don't really old school.
That sounds good. Yeah, I like the sound of those old ones.
Yeah.
So ska and reggae. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you've got a good mix there, I would say. Well. But I mean, to be honest with you, I'd probably do those three and then chuck in £15 of my own money and nominate the jukebox.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I think with those three, you wouldn't piss anyone off. They're good songs.
No. We've all been in the pub, you know, and someone puts on some 9-minute rock track or something like that, and everyone kind of goes, "Oh God!"
There's always one,
much, you know?
a bit self-indulgent,
Yeah, my tastes are quite broad and quite eclectic, but you always got to keep an eye on the room.
I think so. Yeah, you don't want to upset people. Yeah,
no,
because that's the thing with the digital jukeboxes. There's so many.
We can have anything.
It's not just classic singles. It's all sorts of obscure.
Yeah.
All sorts of genres. Which is
and it's such a wild card for the pub to do because you know, you put your faith in your guests that they are going to keep the buzz going.
It's an interesting democracy.
It is, and I think this is the thing now why a lot of pubs don't necessarily like having them is because it only requires someone to come in and be a bit of a idiot in their selections and sort of kill the buzz. So it's great when you come across. And I went to a bar at uni a lot. The big jukebox bar. Was always putting money in there.
That's nice. I suppose nowadays a lot of pubs they can just make Spotify playlists, and it's a lot easier for them, isn't it? They can kind of curate, but kind of set the tone, and it's kind of just.
Well, there's this software you can get now as well, where you don't even set the music. You just sort of turn the sort of ambience or the vibes up and down, you know, and it will automatically adjust what sort of music it's playing.
So you can veer into something more mellow or jazzy or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It just sort of does the work for you. But I do think then, you know, you probably lose that human touch, and I think
Yeah.
pubs are all about human touch. You don't want cookie cutters or
in or near Kentish Town. There's a pub called Southampton Arms, and it's fairly minimal. I suppose it's sort of hipster, pre-hipster, but it's just they've got a turntable behind a record player behind the bar. They just put on good albums.
Yeah,
and that's quite nice, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just a nice little touch, really.
Absolutely,
you know.
yeah.
So, on to the next question about a pub that left a mark on you on holiday, whether it's like abroad or whether it's a bar or an old pub in the UK. Anything that sticks in the mind?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest of travellers.
No, okay.
It's something that I don't know. It never sort of tickled me to do it.
No.
I've been abroad and things.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, but I'm not a big
No.
holiday. But so I've got kind of two.
Right.
Did I put two down?
Mm.
I did, yes. So
Okay.
UK, a pub that left a massive impact on me when I've been sort of around the UK is a pub called the Raven, which is in Bath.
Oh, okay.
Sort of down backside road Bath, small pub, over 2 levels.
Ah.
And they do an absolutely brilliant pie.
Yeah.
So I made it a bit of a pilgrimage every time I'm in Bath. I go there.
Sensible.
One time I was there, it's probably about 8 or 9 years ago now.
Yeah.
And I was there, and they had a imperial stout on cask.
Ooh.
And it's not. I think it's not really a craft beer bar. It's sort of fairly.
Yeah.
Like they get in some slightly left of centre choices, but they don't.
No.
It's not the sort of place that you go in and expect that.
No.
And I went in and went, oh
No,
my!
no.
I look at this, So I had that with a venison pie, and it was just phenomenal.
Yeah, I suppose.
They're also the Raven in Bath is the pub that's kind of famous because when Keir Starmer was running to be the Labour leader, I think the landlord sort of accosted him in the street and kind of gave him a hard time about some stuff, and they kind of got all over the news for that.
Right.
So,
okay.
But I liked it.
Away
from the politics and before the politics. So that one.
Yeah.
That's
a lovely. Is it a town or city? But it's a lovely place anyway, isn't it?
Bath, yeah. It's a city.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful and great pub scene there as well.
Yes, from memory, I remember it being quite well furnished with pubs. Yeah, which is what you want.
Yeah. The other one that stands out there is the Star, which is the famous one in Bath because they serve Bass by the jug, which is
nice. Yeah.
Well, once upon a time was a fairly rare thing to see. So.
Yeah, true.
And then abroad, I was thinking about abroad, and actually, it's a recent one from these visits to the French pubs. So I was in Montpellier in south of France about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And Wells own a great pub called the Shakespeare there, which is great.
Right.
But I always want to see what the local, sort of competitor is in the region. And they said, there's this really great craft beer bar just around the corner called Populous.
Okay.
And I went in, and actually what it was essentially a brew pub, and they are serving straight from the sort of pressurised fermenters.
Yeah. The big
the sort of conical tanks, and it was quite minimalist. The bar, it was very highly decked out in terms of quality.
Yeah.
But the aesthetic was quite minimal.
Yeah.
And they only had 6 beers on.
Yeah.
And I had a triple. And triple was probably one of my least favourite sort of styles. I'm not a big triple guy.
No.
And I think this was probably the best triple I've ever had. And it came in this beautiful sort of stem 3rd pint glass.
Nice.
And it was, and the vibes there were, as the kids say, the vibes were immaculate.
Yeah.
And I just had a really nice couple of beers. I had a really great New England as well.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what, this is a really, really cool, modern bar without feeling pretentious in any sort of way.
It was sort of genuine and
and the owner was there, and
the right feel.
I was Instagram about it, and he was like really keen to come over and chat to me about beer and
that's
and
nice
stuff. And it was I was only there for maybe an hour, but I thought this is a really stonkingly good bar.
Found your feet in there,
yeah, absolutely. So that would probably be in terms of the overall one.
So, have you ever seen or heard about a ghost in a pub?
I've never been lucky enough to see one
No.
in a pub, unfortunately. And I've drunk in plenty of haunted pubs.
Yeah,
but,
there's a lot of talk about them usually, isn't there?
There is, yeah, but they don't generally come out at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon,
No,
do they?
they don't manifest themselves at 3 in the afternoon.
No. I'm not through lack of trying. I've spent a fair bit of time in a pub called the Castle, which is in Bedford.
Oh yeah,
on Newnham Road, I believe it is.
Yes,
which is a Welsh pub.
Yes,
I was chatting to Rowley, the landlord there, about 18 months ago, and he was telling me about their pub is haunted.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, a couple of weird goings on.
Yeah.
So they had they used to have a dog called Wilson, who lived at the pub, and he would quite frequently just sort of growl and bark at this one seat in the corner, and it was always the same seat. And it was when no one was sitting there. It would seem to be quite a regular thing. He was unhappy about this one seat.
Yeah.
They have a clock on the wall, so opposite their main bar, clock opposite the wall.
Yeah.
And on more than one occasion, that clock has thrown itself off the wall across the room. So much so that they have now bolted the clock to the wall.
Ghost proof,
And then, perhaps most alarmingly, is that when a few years back, when Roddy was living above the pub, one time his daughter was in the shower, and the shower curtain was ripped away from the shower, but there was no one there.
Oh no!
So it's a scary ghost as well.
Yeah.
The worst kind of ghost. So I've been there. I spent a fair amount of time there.
Yeah.
But I've never seen anything, unfortunately. No. But there's pubs that are hundreds of years old. Surely, I spend enough time going to different pubs. So surely, statistically, I'm going to bump into one at some point.
But I think regarding the dog, that's a good sort of validation. I think. I mean, because it's easy for people to say, spin a yarn, but if a dog sort of goes off, that's kind of makes it a bit authentic. I think, in my opinion.
The two that I go ghost watching for, near where I live. So I live in Buckinghamshire.
Oh yeah.
And I'm about equal distance between two pubs. The King's Head, which is in Aylesbury Town Centre, which is actually owned by the National Trust, and there's been a pub there since the sort of 15th century. They claim to be the second oldest pub in the UK. Not the first, but the second oldest.
Yeah.
The first is too hotly contested.
Yeah. There's a lot of conjecture about the oldest pub, isn't there? Which is a thing in itself. Yeah.
And then I also live not too far away from a pub called the Royal Standard of England, which is just outside of Beaconsfield.
Right. I think.
And they claim to be the oldest free house in the country. But both of them. They say they're haunted, and both of them I've spent plenty of time in. So I'm just hoping you turn up enough times, you might see something spooky. Yeah,
I suppose if they're old and atmospheric, and they're the sort of places. It's like established any sort of public building, especially pubs, because of the age of them. Often, when it's quiet. So if there's no one around and you've got to walk off to the toilet, or if you're a member of staff just on your own, that's when it kind of is sensory overload, isn't it? Because of the atmosphere.
When there's people running around and children and people running food and stuff, there's too much hubbub, You've got to sort of, I guess with these things, you probably have to tune into a sort of lower frequency to pick up on stuff.
So you may or may not have covered this. Have you got like an all-time favourite live pub that's still going?
Live pub?
Well, a pub that's still going.
I've got, as with most of these answers, I've got multiples.
That's fine.
So I will give, first of all, I'll give a massive shout out to the local that I mentioned earlier. So it's about a 10-minute walk from my house. Not actually geographically my local. I've got one pub that's marginally closer, but it's the one that I choose to go to.
Still near.
It's a very, very great all-round pub, and the team was super friendly, and the food's great, and the beer's great, and it's they've got beer festival this weekend coming, and so I'll give a shout out to them. In terms of probably all-time favourite pub, even though it's one that I get to very rarely these days, is a famous pub. It's called the Nag's Head, and it's in Reading. Okay. So it's quite frequently come sort of top 10 camera pubs in the country and stuff
classic,
like that.
That's off my radar, but okay, it's a bit of a classic.
If you cast back probably 15, 18, 20 years ago,
Yeah.
I think they were originally a Wadworth pub, something like that.
Nice, yeah.
And they were sort of struggling a bit.
Yeah.
And then the people that had the pub, they bought the pub out of Thai. They bought the freehold, and then they kind of turned it into this initially sort of amazing cask-focused pub, but now also with a really good keg offering. So I believe they have something like 14 cask, 17 craft keg, no permanents, all rotating,
constantly,
all local independent breweries and stuff. And
brilliant.
I went to university in Reading,
right?
And when I went to university when I was 18, I was just a cheap lager lounge. It was just Foster's and Carlsberg. And then when I was sort of coming out the other side, 21, stuff like that, I started kind of dip my toe a little bit into cask ale. Reading has a really great Canberra Beer Festival. Okay. So I sort of perhaps started it there, but was not convinced necessarily. And then I remember going to the next for the first time, having a pint of West Berkshire, Magnificent Mild, and that was the sort of light switch. You know,
sort of light,
and I went, this is great. And I've had so many exceptional beers there over the years. And if I'm ever within sort of 20 miles of Reading, I make a beeline straight. Just go and have one. You know, it's one of those pubs as well. It's always busy. It's on a sort of back street. You know, but it's always busy. And they just do it exceptionally well.
Something to be said for a back street pub. It's often a
and it's
magical spot.
And it's sort of one of those things where every time someone says, "Oh, back street pub," we would struggle to do volumes or cask ale. And you go, well, those guys started with 2, and they got up to 14, and they still service.
It's become a destination.
I'm not saying every pub's do 14, but if they can do 14, most pubs can do 2 or 3. So,
exactly.
With a bit of conviction. So, I would say that's probably the all-timer.
Sounds good.
I miss it. I miss that. I don't get to go to it.
Just a bit far away.
It is a little bit.
So while you're in Reading, did you ever make it to the festival?
I went to the festival every year from I'm making myself sound too young. 2006 to 2010 or 11, I can't remember.
So you had a good stint.
I did a good stint. Saw some great bands there. Saw Chili Peppers. Smashing Pumpkins. Saw Weezer, saw hundreds of others. Radiohead.
Very good.
Which was amazing. And Rage Against the Machine. So I sort of had a really good time. Drank a load of beer at those. But it was all terrible, warm.
Overpriced, mass-produced lager. But when at a festival, that's all you can do, isn't it?
Exactly. So there were no beautifully conditioned pints of cask ale at the Reading Festival, unfortunately. So, but it's a great city. Well, it's a town really. It's a great city for pubs. Got the Castle Tap. The Ale House. There's a really good scene there. And since I've left, they've also got like Siren Brewery with a bar there and stuff. I've not been to it, but looks amazing. So I need to get back there and do the loop again.
For old time's sake. So this may connect or not, but is there a pub you lament, a dead pub that you miss?
It's really interesting, this, because I think the answer to this is sort of, what do you mean by a dead pub? And I'll explain myself.
Okay.
I'm very lucky in the sense that I have never had a local pub to me that I really liked closed down and turned into a shop.
Right.
I've never, I've never found a bar that I really loved that then no longer existed. I've been quite privileged in that regard. But what I have had is I've had several circumstances over my life where bars that I love have changed radically, completely radically.
So they've had like an equivalent of a lobotomy. They've just sort of become a different thing.
Absolutely, So when I was at uni in Reading, there was
so they still exist, but
there was a student bar called the Up in Arms, which was on Cemetery Junction, and it was a real student dive, quite a big pub, but it was just £1 pints, pool table, jukebox, but it was great fun, and it was busy all the time. And I had so many great nights there, so many horrendous hangovers the following day. But in the last few months that I was at university, the company who owned it shut it down.
Oh.
And then they refurbed it and they opened it, and the pub was then called the Adult Cook. And it had gone from this sort of student dive to this very fancy gastro.
Yeah.
It was one of the very first places, and you're going back to, this would be 2010, 2011.
Right.
But this was one of the very first pubs where I ever saw a pint north of £5. You know, at the time, you know, beers were $3 in pubs, and they were 1 inch.
So quite a jump,
And, you know, and it was fancy, and it was leather seating. And it was very clear from the second world team, students on, you know, not welcome. This is a different proposition. And I really lamented that. I really missed what it was. And
that's just as bad as one shutting, I think. If it's just had a change for for the worse in this instance.
And then the other half of I had a second example of that.
Right.
Is in more recent times, there was a pub called the Valiant Trooper, which is in a village called Albury, which is near Trim in Hertfordshire. Albury's a beautiful village.
I think I went there as a kid. Have they got some stocks there by a
yes,
pond?
Yes, they do. I
went there as a kid.
They filmed like Midsummer Murders there. And stuff.
Oh, brilliant! I think my granddad took me there.
There's two pubs in the village. The Greyhound, which is really great.
All right.
This one, the Valiant Trooper. The Valiant Trooper was like the quintessential classic, kind of very slightly run down British pub. You know? But you do a cross country walk 6-7 miles. You get there, you got muddy boots. You know, you can read the paper. You can have a pork pie.
You can relax.
You can relax. You know, and the car scales was great, and it was just a really, you know, it was sort of like, I used to think like, if I ever have foreign friends and they want one example of a British pub, I'll take to this one.
That's it.
And then around about COVID time, I guess the landlord felt a hard time, so they sold the pub. And these people who took it on, they kind of completely gutted it and stripped it all right back, and it all became sort of plain plaster and sort of clean lines. And they sort of turned it into a sort of cafe, cum restaurant, with a bit of a pub thrown in.
But sort of gesture of a pub.
Completely sort of lost what it was. You know, it became very, you know, very sort of cheechy. You know, you go in here for £5 coffee, and you can eat some food that's kind of foraged from up the hill in the woods, but it's probably going to cost you 30 quid a meal.
I mean, that's it.
The muddy boots weren't welcome anymore.
No.
And they also, what it is, they changed the name, so it used to be called the Valiant Trooper. And they changed it to just the Trooper.
Oh.
And they claimed that the pub was originally called the Trooper. I don't know if that's the case or not. But I've been in once. This is so not.
So they took the soul out of it when they put the Farrow and Ball paint on and took the soul away.
Exactly.
Bring back the nicotine,
Put in the fired tiles and the toilets. So I very much lamented that, and I still do, because that's not that far from where I live. And I got married in Albury, and
lovely.
It's a real shame. I think also the other half of this is it possible to miss a dead pub that you never visited?
I think so.
Yeah. See, and I've got a couple of examples of that. So
I've got one sprung to mind, but you go first.
So there's a pub on the Grand Union Canal. Again, just near Tring, a little tiny kind of hamlet called Marsworth.
Okay.
And there's a pub called there was a pub called the White Lion.
Oh.
And I never went.
No.
I never went. By the time I'd moved to that neck of the woods, it had already been shut.
It's been shut a while.
There's a pub about a mile further down the canal called the Grand Junction, which is still very much going, and it's a good pub. And there's a pub about another half a mile up, Red Lion, and that's another great pub, and it's still going. And so I've spent plenty of time kind of walking the canal, walking between these two. And you know, halfway along, you see this derelict pub. And I always think, you know, I bet, you know, I love a canal side pub.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that would be a really great sort of, why is it not there? And then what was absolutely gutting, Lloyd, was last year some work started on it.
Sign of promise, maybe.
I thought, oh, gosh, you know, there's diggers in the garden and they're putting a new roof on it and stuff like, what's going on? But, you know, I always see it when I'm on my commute, and then I get home and I forget about it. And then about 6 months ago, the pub sign got a refresh, got a repaint.
Oh.
And
promising.
You know, new white line on it. established
Yeah.
1655 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I thought it's going to be a pub again.
Yeah.
And I looked it up online.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's going to be a house. And what they've done is they've done my least favourite thing in the world, which is that they're going to keep the pub sign
What
on
a tease!
house.
What a tease!
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one thing to, toffee cap to the past, but in that instance, it's just misleading, isn't it?
I actually wrote a blog article about ghost signs. Like last year, because I hate it where you're walking around a town you've never been to before. You go, there's a pub, and then you go to it, and it turns out it's someone's house, but they kept the sign because they want to give it a nod back to the old pub. It's just a tease, as you said. It's sort of rubbing it in the face.
It is
to frequent that pub.
But it's advertising something that's not there. Yeah.
I got so excited that pub was going to reopen.
Oh, I bet.
It's going to be someone's house.
What a letdown. Yeah.
So I think.
No, that's good. Nice twist on the question, actually.
If you agree with it, you can miss something you've never had.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a pub shut a long time ago. It was in Dorset. I think it was a place called Godmanstone, I think, and it was the Smith's Arms, and it was reputed to be the smallest pub. And it was an old blacksmith's. Yeah. So it was quite small, and I think a king trotted by one day, had the king's horse was hooved or whatever, and he gave it a license, so whichever king that was, James or whoever, and it was it's in all my sort of old pub books, and classic, very evocative photos, beautiful, old chaps with pipes and comb overs in there, and by the time I had a chance to get to it, it shut, and I think it's like an extension of a house or something now.
Something tragic.
It's some outbuilding on the cottage nearby, and it's just like, really missed that, even though I've never been there.
Exactly.
So I think that's about it, unless there's anything else. Is there anything else? I can always
think so. You about the best band in a pub?
Yes, that's a good question, which I completely overlooked. Now it could be like a pub band or a band that became famous. So
I've got so the best band. I'll get two answers again for this.
Great.
So in my 20s, I was a big follower of a band called the Skids, who are a sort of reggae band, reggae ska band from London. Still going now. About to release a new album in the autumn. But I've been following them very much since the early days, and I've seen them a couple of times in pubs. I saw them at the Horn in St Albans once. But they had an instant, I think it was probably about 2013, where they had their van robbed and they had all their instruments taken. And this band is not a big band. There's no financial backing or anything. And they kind of they reached out to their fan base and said, we're trying to get the money back together to get some more gear. They did a sort of crowdfunder and stuff. But part of that was they put on a show at a pub called the Fighting Cocks, which is in Kingston, which is a sort of quite a well-known live music, particularly sort of heavy towards punk and stuff sort of venue. Nice. But it is very much a pub. You can go and have a drink. And they put on this show there. I think the capacity is maybe 80 people, and they maybe squeezed 110, 120 into it. It was absolutely rammed. They're using all borrowed equipment. And the mood was just absolutely electric. And I've seen that band, I think I counted it a few months ago, and I think I've seen that band about 14 times. Something like
right,
that.
so you're a fan,
big venues, small venues, everything in between.
Okay.
And that one stands out as sort of the best one because the mood was so supportive.
Yeah, I suppose in the circumstances as well, not just it being in a pub, but because of what happened. And then my other one is I went to a gig, this would probably be about 10 years ago, of a band called Doe, as in a Doe as in a female deer. DOE. And they played a gig at the White Lion in Watford. And I like the band. They'd had a couple of albums out and stuff. And I went to it, but I didn't really realise that the gig had been put on by a local record label, which is also a vinyl shop and stuff. Right. And they had a sort of vegan buffet on, which I didn't know was it was a free gig with a free buffet. And niche but nice.
All the bands were really good.
Cool.
And the thing that it was really like Doe were brilliant.
Yeah.
And again, great atmosphere.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I thought was very interesting about that is I walked into this pub and they had one cask ale and it was Doombar. And I'm not a fan, let's say. You know. And particularly back then, I was a lot more snobby about beers than I am now.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not drinking that stuff.
No.
I love red wine. So I was sort of
Excellent.
standing there drinking this very, very poor quality red wine.
With your vegan vol au vents.
With my vegan vol au vents, yeah.
Nice.
And I was watching the bar, the landlord, and he was just pumping that Doombar cask all night. And I was thinking, you know what, in the time that I've drunk this red wine, he's probably sold 40 pints of Doombar. I looked at everyone else drinking Doombar.
Yeah.
I thought, I better have one.
Yeah.
And it was a really solid, nice pint. Like,
it was all right.
Yeah, it wasn't the best beer I've ever had, don't get me wrong.
No.
But it was one of these things where it's sort of a penny dropped and I went, with cask ale, it's not always about just the brand or the brewery.
No.
It's so much of it is about the pub and about the
It's
throughput and that stuff. So I'm having this sort of like I had a vegan chili con carne. Yeah. And I'm watching this like great 3-piece punk band.
Yeah.
And then I'm drinking a really nice pint of Doombar at the time, and I'm kind of going, and I'm in Watford.
Yeah.
Like,
it was a good evening.
It was a good evening, but it was sort of a bit kind of came out of nowhere, really. I thought it was going to be, tins of Red Stripe and
that's the usual go-to, isn't it? That sort of gig, tin of Red Stripe, true.
It wasn't the case. So I mean, I've been to loads of pub gigs. In fact, I go to far more pub gigs now than I go to big gigs. But
where you get a good atmosphere.
You do. Those two very much stick out.
Excellent. It just sort of reminded me. You might have heard about it. It might have been more than a couple of years ago. There's a pub in London. It was probably more than one called the Marquee.
Yes.
And that's when a Green Day popped up. And it was like a last minute thing, and I thought, that would have been nice.
It would have been.
Yeah. So things like that. It does happen.
Well, it's the public house. You never know who's going to walk in.
No, that's it.
Doors,
that's lovely.
So
I've been begging for him to come back ever since. But
I'm sure of it.
Lightning probably doesn't strike twice, but So I think that's everything.
Great.
Yeah,
it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Have you got any where people can follow you on Instagram? Any handles?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm all over the internet these days. So, for anything, if you want to see kind of particularly about what I do at work and stuff, LinkedIn is the best place. And that's Tim Hickford, easy enough to find. Beer engagement manager at Brewpoint. I have an Instagram page called Beer with Tim, where I post just sort of general beer going on. I seem to be hitting a bit of a groove at the moment doing beer reviews, but not doing just like here's a pint. I'm trying to do like obscure styles or blends and stuff like that. But I do some other stuff in there as well. I also have a website and a blog, which is beerwithtim.co.uk.
Right.
So I do a bit of writing on there.
Great.
Well,
we'll put
I think that's it. Send me a letter.
Last orders at the bar, please. Can I have a top, please? Large top. Okay, thanks for listening. Do be sure to check out Tim's blog, Beer with Tim, and give him a follow on Instagram. And please like and follow Pubs of the Shire wherever you get your podcasts from. Thank you. Bye.